Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Clifford Berger and thanks for watching. In my last video, I had talked about the semiotics of baseball, so continuing on that sports theme, I'd like today to reflect for just a moment on the recent Kentucky Derby that was held on May 7th this year. The winner of the Kentucky Derby was a very unlikely horse named Rich Strike. Rich Strike was an 80 to 1 long shot to win the Kentucky Derby. Rich Strike had only gained a spot in the Derby like at the very last minute on Friday before the race when he was allowed into the race because another horse had scratched and been disqualified. So um, the horse really had almost no chance even of getting in, but somehow did. And then once in the race, Rich Strike didn't have the best starting position at the post. He wasn't the biggest horse, didn't have the best record up to that time. He wasn't worth nearly as much money as the horses that were the favorites. But if you watch the recording of it, you can look it up on YouTube, you'll be you'll never forget the way this played out if you haven't heard about it already. The race continued much like such horse races often do, with the horses going around in the pack, and the announcers calling the horses as they traded off leads and so on. And I think only once in the entire way around did Rich Strike even get mentioned, just briefly when they were naming off a bunch of horses in the pack, because I think at one point he was all the way in the back. And most of the time, it's hard to find him. He's number 21 if you're watching the recording, but it's really hard to find him until they come around the curve for the last stretch and head into the stretch. The announcer is excitedly calling out the names of two or three horses as they swap for the lead and vie for that. And then down the stretch, here comes Rich Strike, kind of out of nowhere, but not really. Such things don't happen out of nowhere. But you can see him suddenly coming up from the inside and then nudging the horse just to his left out of the way, almost as if he's an annoyance. And then uh, moving very fast past the two horses in the lead and only getting mentioned by the announcer with maybe 5 or 6 seconds before the end of the race. All of a sudden, Rich Strike takes the lead, and in the last little bit, he pulled ahead and won by a length. So it wasn't just barely a win. In horse racing, a full length is a significant win, and against, well, all odds, 80 to 1 odds, according to Vegas. We had a Kentucky Derby winner this year. Well, maybe you don't pay much attention to horse racing. I don't follow it as such, although most of my life I've watched the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May. It's been kind of a tradition in my family. And it makes me reflect a little bit on just the idea of living a long shot life. How, at least as a metaphor, the success of Rich Strike in the Kentucky Derby can speak to us. Sometimes people, and you may be one of them, don't have uh, the favored odds at the beginning, early in life. That you have a lot of things going against you. You don't have the best starting position. You're not the wealthiest or from the most well-to-do family. You don't have the size, the speed, the brain power, all of that that we tend to think of as being necessary to be successful in life. And yet, and yet, there's always the chance that we as human beings can gain success. Not that life is a horse race, and not that we have to win at the expense of others. And so life is not a zero sum game where there's a winner and then everybody else is a loser. I'm just thinking of this particular race and just how remarkable it was for such an unexpected horse to have such success, and how encouraging it can be to people who may feel like they just simply don't have the advantages that others have, and they don't have the things going for them. And yet, on a given day or in a given season of life, how you can pull that together and run a great race. I think the key is to run a great race, not necessarily to beat everybody else, but to run a great race and present yourself well and have some success in your life, even if you feel like maybe you're past your prime or past the time to try new things. There's always a time to try new things. It's never too late for that. And so that's my reflection today. If you um, haven't watched the race, I encourage you to look it up. You can just find it on YouTube and watch it. It's a remarkable race, and I always enjoy sporting events of all kinds just because of the drama involved. And I encourage you to check it out and maybe reflect on the things that I've shared here as well. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.